Well, hi there, everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Schroeder, and I am pleased to be your instructor for your current course, NU 602 Evidence-Based Practice. This is a course that is designed to help to teach you and to learn the basic concepts of evidence-based practice, and will flow from and follow pretty carefully with the content that you learned in your nursing research course. Evidence-based practice and nursing research really kind of go hand in hand. So part of this course will use the skills that you learned in your nursing research classes, particularly when it comes to finding information related to your particular topic of interest. Um, let's see, a few things. Each week I will be posting a little video. I've been doing these videos for a couple years now because I think that it kind of just helps to make class feel a little bit more real. That you see that you have a real instructor here that's really reviewing your work. I do these videos in real time, so in other words, I don't they're made specifically for this course. They'll usually be posted on Sundays or sometimes on Mondays, but usually pretty close to the beginning of class. I don't really do instruction per se, but I do help to just highlight the principles and highlight some of the main things that you need to keep in mind. So I do recommend that you do review them. They usually last somewhere between anywhere from 4 or 5 minutes, sometimes up to 8 or 10 minutes if I'm going over some particularly difficult concepts. So again, they're just here as a way to help keep you on track and let you know a little bit about the content that's coming up. In this first week, you have a discussion question, and what you're going to be doing is identifying a clinical issue or problem of interest and defining or developing what is known as this PICO question. A PICO just is an acronym that stands for a patient, P is a patient or population, an intervention, a comparison intervention or a comparison treatment, an outcome that's going to be measured, and then a time frame. Even though some of these things, for example, a time frame will be listed here as being something, if indicated or something that's optional, I want you to identify a time frame for your PICO because in your final paper, in your final project, you're going to have a time frame. So it's best just to go ahead and really, think about that here at the beginning. And really what a PICO is a PICO is a very commonly used tool that we use, and it's just a way of organizing a research question. So here it is the PICO question, and the PICO question that you would use would be for whatever your population is, what intervention or what new evidence-based practice compared with what other practice, usually whatever your current practice is, will result in a specific and measurable outcome when measured over a time period. Usually for most PICO questions, the time period that we're looking at is usually somewhere around 6 months or so. In other words, let's say, for example, we identify there's a problem with nosocomial infections. And so one of the issues with the hospital-acquired infections is the term we would use now. So for hospital-acquired infections, maybe it is thought that nurses aren't washing their hands, so we come up with an intervention of a new hand washing class or some new hand washing training, and that's going to be compared with no training, compared with whatever you've been doing for monitoring hand washing, with the potential outcome of reducing hospital-acquired infections over, say, like a 6-month period. That's just a very basic kind of a PICO question. The main thing to keep in mind here is that you're going to be identifying some new interventions. So it should be something that you're able to find some research on, and you are invited to use I always suggest the EBSCO or the academic premier databases in the library, or where you really should be finding your information. I would advise you not to rely too much on Google searches or just doing a Google search for information, because there's precious little real evidence-based practice work in Google. You really find your current research, and what you really need is you're going to be finding it in the research databases. So use that information that you used from your nursing research course. Really use those databases. That's where you're going to find most of your information for this particular class. The discussion questions for weeks 1 through 7 will always be your initial response is always due by Wednesday with a minimum of 2 responses posted on different days during the week through the rest of the week up through Saturday. And then Sunday's kind of sort of a day off. Um, so all discussion must be wrapped up by Saturday evening. So I do use the rubrics pretty closely, really, for all the assignments in this course. That includes the discussion questions as well. So make sure that you review the rubrics and so that you understand what the expectations are. But really, that's quite a bit for this week. You're going to be writing an introduction. And then participating in this discussion, identifying what your PICO question is. Please review my feedback. I will be leaving quite a bit of feedback on the PICO questions. And so you want to make sure that you look at not just your own discussion threads, but read through all the students, because I'm going to be leaving feedback, and the feedback that I leave for others is something that may help you as well, because it's a little bit tricky coming up with a good PICO question sometimes. And so I will be guiding you towards making sure that you have all the correct elements. And then this PICO question is going to be the start of your task. And then in future weeks, we'll be talking about how to find information related to your PICO question, talk about how you will measure the outcomes for that. And ultimately, you're going to be putting all this information together in an evidence-based practice project that you will be putting together, which are your written components for the course. So I look forward to getting to know you in class. Remember, I am on the West Coast, so usually when I'm participating in class, it's usually either really early in the morning in my neck of the woods, or sometimes late in the evening, which is probably like the middle of the night where you're at. If you're on the East Coast, most students with this particular school are usually on the East Coast. So just know that there is a little bit of a time difference there. My contact information is in the syllabus, and I have it in the welcome announcement, so please feel free to contact me anytime you have any questions. If you do have a question that you think is something that other people may have, please just go ahead and leave it in the Ask Your Instructor forum. It's just easier for me to just answer, a question once for everybody to see, as opposed to the same question coming via email from several different students. So I look forward to getting to know you in class. I look forward to being with you on this leg of your educational journey, and we'll see you in the discussion forums.